Do you want to become a confident English speaker?
Be spontaneous, expressive, eloquent, and persuasive. We present you Teens.
Teens.
Tricks to enhance English of non-native speakers.
Hello and welcome to our webinar session. I'm Irene.
I'm Ali.
Asha.
And I am Arvin, and we are your hosts for tonight. So, just like the usual way of attending a seminar, each and every one of you must have something to meet or achieve at the end of the day before leaving this webinar room. I am actually talking about the goal that you need to focus on as you go along with this event. Basically, you guys will be enhancing speaking abilities, your speaking abilities and communication skills through varied drills and English tricks that you guys are going to encounter later on.
So, how are you guys and how do you feel about this event?
Oh, I'm actually quite excited because this is going to be my first time hosting a webinar. How about you, Ali?
Well, I guess I'm a little bit nervous because it has been a long time since the last time that I talked in public, much especially if I'm using the English language. That's so scary.
Well, that's normal. That's actually a mixture of, excitement and nervousness because this is going to be the first time that we'll be having this webinar session all together, right? But do you guys know how many people fear public speaking?
Well, according to the recent study, 73% of the population struggles with a fear of public speaking. That means some 238 million people feel nervous about talking to others.
Oh, okay. But the question is, how many people are willing to face their fear in terms of public speaking? Do you guys have any idea about it?
Well, actually, since the four of us is already here, why not assess our skills and try to
Oh,
improve to make it better? Well, we're
yeah.
up for the challenge, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, that's
Yes.
well, I think that's gonna be a good idea though.
Let me think.
But guys, before we start, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in tonight's event. Everyone has the opportunity to post questions and then we will answer them after the presentation.
All right, so viewers, I encourage you to pose your questions on set if in case you have queries or something that you want to clarify.
So going back, just like the usual thing that you do in a seminar during the first part of the event, you guys have to work on your own short self-introduction. But there's going to be a challenge, all right? So let me first give you the word of the day. So for the word of the day, you have there the word bodacious. It's an adjective which means outright, noteworthy, remarkable. So you have to use this word of the day as you go along with your self introduction. So are you guys ready? All right.
Ready?
Yes, and we will be starting with Ali.
I knew it. You're about to call me. Okay. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ali. So, some people say that I am an introvert, timid, and a person who doesn't talk a lot. But that is only because I value my time really well. There are times that I can be jolly and talkative, yet it depends on the situation. I know that there are a lot of things that I need to know and to immerse myself for me to fully reach my potential, just like you. And maybe this activity is one of those things. I find English bodacious because I consider it as my first love, along with reading books, writing stories, listening to classical music, all for the love of English. And that's me, Ali.
All right. So thank you so much, Ali. What about you, Asha? Can you work on your self introduction this time?
I think no, because of the bar
Why?
that teacher Ali has set. All right, but let's have it. Hi everyone, I'm Asha, and everyone knows me as spontaneous, which I think is a bodacious skill of a person that must have if they're eyeing to be a good public speaker.
Wow, I hope everyone has that bodacious skill as well in terms of public speaking. So everyone can be spontaneous as well as they talk or as they go along with their public speaking activity or speech. What about you, Irene?
So, hi, I'm Irene. I love English and I like to learn a new language. One of my characteristics, which I think makes me a bodacious as a person, is being adaptable. I believe that if you want to improve yourself or if you want to develop your skills, you have to be determined and you're willing to adapt new things. That's
Oh,
it.
so thank you so much for that bodacious self introduction. All right. So, well, me, no one's asking me to to do my self introduction, but to have my own self introduction, I would actually start it by telling you that my life is the story of my life is something bodacious. Guys, being able to surpass or to overcome the challenges that would come along the way makes you a great person, right? And that's actually something bodacious about me. Well, I am Arvin, and I am a bodacious person,
Oh,
I think.
I have to agree that it's a bodacious thing for a person to have that skill to overcome every struggle that will come your way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, once again, that's a bodacious short self introduction, guys. Well, anyway, Asha, what can you say about our performance earlier?
I have to agree with you that our performance earlier was bodacious. We have to support ourselves. But yeah, I think, and I'm quite sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm quite sure that a public speaker must have these three essential things that we're going to talk about today. But to give you an idea, a public speaker must be good in finding the right words to use in order for you to convey the idea that you want to let the audience know. And the second one, you must be so sure and the second one, you must enunciate words properly. And the third, you must know how to organize your thoughts in order for you not to mumble.
Oh, were we able to do these things, Asha?
Mm.
A bit.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I must say that, yeah, we did great.
Thank you so much.
That's a relief, Asha. That is a wonderful evaluation. Sometimes it's all that we need for us to be aware of our lapses. Right, Irene?
That's right, Ali. Maybe we could ask Arvin if he could
Hmm.
give us or share with us a trick to enhance public speaking skills.
Well, I don't have any idea that it's gonna be my turn now, but yeah, I am not so sure if teacher Asha was able to mention something about the choice of words, because you know what, guys, when working on a public speaking activity or a speech, rather, you need to be careful with whatever words that you're going to use on it. Mhm. And you need to make sure that all the words that you're using are impactful or something that would make your speech more appealing. Well, do you guys know some of the words that you can use in making your speech more appealing or impactful to your audience?
Oh, what do you mean? You mean saying the exact word instead of describing it? Because I suppose when a person is nervous, we tend to describe the word instead of saying exactly what the word is.
All right. You mean the descriptive words, right?
Yeah.
Because usually we use descriptive words to create an impact on the speech that we're working on at the moment. Do you guys agree with it?
Yes.
All right. So, talking about descriptive words, do you have any idea about what these descriptive words are? Ali?
I'm only thinking about one thing. Because most of the time I use adjectives in order to
Hmm.
describe something to make it more
Exactly.
beautiful.
Oh, well, you have the keyword already, descriptive words. So grammatically speaking, we're talking about here adjectives. But we're going to talk about a specific kind of adjective that we can use to make our speech more appealing. All right? So I'm going to give you sample adjectives that a teen public speaker or a teenager usually uses when he or she is having a public speaking activity. So some of them would say, very hungry, very sorry, and very confused. They tend to use the word very. They tend to use, or to overuse rather, the word very in intensifying the adjectives that they have on their statements. Well, in fact, you can just use one word that actually represents the idea that you have in mind at the moment. So instead of saying very hungry, you can use the word starving. Instead of saying very sorry, you can say apologetic. And lastly, instead of saying very confused, you can just say perplexed. So this is actually one trick that you can use or that you can consider rather when working on your own speech to make it more appealing and impactful to your audience. To give you a simple practice of how to use these adjectives, I'm going to show you some photos on the screen, all right? And each one of you has to generate one adjective from all these photos that I'm going to show you this time. So are you guys ready?
Born
Real.
ready.
All right. All right. I think the first photo is actually good for Asha. So what particular adjective or superlative you can actually generate from this photo?
Thank you for considering me to put in the situation of the tall girl. I'll take it as a compliment, though. All right, let's
Mhm.
have this one. Obviously, it's with a very tall, so I'm thinking of towering. Yeah,
Towering. Yeah,
towering.
that can be used. All right, so thank you so much. What about the next photo? Wow, so the next photo fits Ali. What can you say about the next
Seriously?
photo?
It's a
It
compliment.
looks, no, it's not a compliment. I know I'm the oldest here, but okay. This is a very old model of a computer. I still
Mm,
remember when I'm still studying back in the elementary days, we always use this. You know what? It's like a mini wallet where you can save the files.
mm,
Right now we have the flash drive. So if
yeah.
I'm going to describe this item, it's something ancient for me.
All right, yeah, because it existed years ago, right? And I think I was not able to use this kind of computer
Oh,
because yeah,
lucky
because
you.
We
yeah,
weren't
lucky
born
me.
yet.
Yes. So yes. What about you, Irene?
Wow. So this is interesting. We need
Mm.
this, especially nowadays.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
to agree.
I
That's
Yes.
really an
wonder
interesting
which one
topic,
are you
though.
talking
Yes.
about, Irene? Is it the money or the guy?
Um,
Um, can I answer
I
that?
think
Oh, teacher.
it's more on the money.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I can see that the person here or the man in the picture on the photo is very rich. However, I cannot use the word very, so I think it's much better to use the word or the adjective wealthy.
Yes. Wealthy of man, wealthy of
Wealthy
money.
of
Yeah,
everything.
wealthy of everything. Wow, that's a good idea. Well, that's a job well done, guys. Let's give each and every one of us a round of applause.
Eh,
Yes. Well, to give you a challenge, because you were able to give me earlier, or to give us adjectives, superlatives rather, out of the photos that I have given you earlier. You're going to work on a creative speech this time. It's called a taboo game. So you're going to choose one item that you can see around you and describe that item without mentioning the common uses of it. But here's the challenge: you have to utilize the extreme adjectives that you have just mentioned in the previous practice or activity that we had earlier. So you have the words towering, wealthy, and antic. So are you guys ready?
Ready?
Ready.
All
Happy.
right. So let's start with Ali.
Okay, let me think. Only one item, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You can make it
So
two.
I'll settle with one. Okay. So this item is one of a kind, bodacious in a way that it shows us towering ideas without going somewhere else. I am like this item in a way that I can be in all places at the same time, sharing, giving insights, and giving you the knowledge that you thirst. Sometimes it's ancient, but most of the time it's updated. Most of the millennials doesn't use it nowadays, but since it evolved to a better idea and innovation, then it's still the same thing.
Mm.
Can you guess what the item is?
Mm.
Is that a book?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
a book. It's
was
a
about
book.
to say that.
Looks like Irene is a wide reader.
This is gonna be this is gonna be a race, huh?
Oh, it is? I didn't know.
Yes. What about you, Irene?
Well, this is a tough one. There's a lot, but I think I would like to be particular with this antique round object,
Hmm.
which is for me a good reminder of how important time is and that life is short, so we should not squander time. You can actually find this item anywhere.
You have mentioned it already. Clock.
Yeah, you
Thank
get
you.
it.
Thank you for giving
That's
us
a
a clue.
trick.
There's nothing more to guess.
Thank you for letting me win.
All right, since that you're the winner, Asha, this is gonna be your time to give us a creative speech.
Yeah, but I don't know why you guys love setting towering bars in using the language, but yeah. Well, I've chosen this object because you can consider it as an antique realization, but this can definitely make you wealthy because of its
Mm,
innovation. First, yeah, because of its innovation. Also, it is important for you to have it, especially in these trying times, because it can make you have a job to attend webinars like this. And also, it is essential in the globalization. Can you
mm.
guess?
This one is tough.
Phone, gadget.
Yeah,
Final answer?
who's gonna
No.
be the tough one?
Yeah.
Tablet.
Tablet.
What?
A tablet.
Tablet, a phone, a mobile phone. For me,
Which
it's
one? An ancient tablet or?
Oh, it depends if it's the correct answer.
Phone.
Oh, it depends on what you're pertaining to.
well, a mobile phone can save old memories though for a long
Mm,
time. So for
But
me,
a
it's a
tablet
mobile
is
phone.
bigger.
yeah, I think
Mm.
it's mobile phone.
I'd stick with a tablet because it's bigger, so it can save bigger memories.
Oh. Okay, so what's the answer?
Yeah, what's the answer?
There's no answer.
Uh,
But yeah, all you guys have the correct answer. A tablet, technology, mobile phone, computer.
Oh. So the
so it's a computer.
gadgets.
Yeah.
The
In
gadgets.
general, yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, and congratulations everyone for a job well done. For that's
So
actually the
hard.
yes, that's actually the second time around, huh?
I am much more proud because tablet game is a difficult
Yeah,
game.
Yes, it
definitely,
really is.
definitely.
This is
Yeah.
not a game.
Well, I remember we did the same thing way back in college when we were given just a matter of minute to finish the speech. Yes, and it's really challenging for us to work on the speech because that's actually the first time that we're going to talk in English. So we're challenged. That had, a time restriction, but us who did that thing without no time restriction, we still had a hard time working on that speech. So it's really hard. It's really a hard game for everyone, the taboo game. All
I couldn't agree more.
right.
I don't want to do it again.
Well, all of us did a great job. So congratulations for a job well done on the first trick. All right. What about you, Irene? Do you have something in mind that you can give us as a trick this time to improve our skills in terms of public speaking? I know you have one.
Yes, but I have one question. Do you guys struggle at times when expressing your ideas or your opinions?
Yes, most of the time, actually. He'll get excited to talk about something that
Hmm.
happened in a specific time, for example.
Oh, I
Hmm.
see. So how about you, Arvin?
Well, I think if it's more on expanding your statements, because that's
Hmm.
actually one important factor when you talk or when you do public speaking activity. Expanding your statement, giving opinions, providing facts, and everything. That's actually the struggle that I usually have
Hmm.
whenever I have a talking or speaking activity like that.
Hmm. Thank you. And how about you, Asha?
Oh, it's just my observation, but I think most of the Filipinos, when they're expressing themselves, especially when they wanna state an idea or situations that might happen in the future or that happened in the past or some things that they want to consider, like the road not taken,
Hmm.
the idea is that, figuratively speaking, when we're speaking about the roads that we were not able to take,
Hmm.
Filipinos are having trouble expressing their ideas and having the right and accurate grammar with that.
Well, I would definitely agree with you guys. I guess expressing ideas, or let's say organizing your thoughts at times, is one of the common difficulties anyone could experience in any speaking situations, right? Okay, so that's basically my trick number two. Express your ideas through situational phrases. So to be able to do it, we can make use of the third conditional. So remember, in English, we have conditionals. The third one, or with the third conditional, we talk about the past, or we talk about a condition in the past that did not happen. Okay, remember, important thing to note here is that third conditional is like a dream. You know why? All right, so yeah, it's a dream, but with no possibility of that dream coming true. Yes, so for us,
Mm.
Oh.
mhm.
Ah, like what I have mentioned earlier, like the road not taken.
Hmm.
Exactly. Hmm. So for
Hmm.
Good.
us to be
Hmm.
able to practice that, we have to apply the third conditional. Let's
Mm.
have a challenge.
What's the
Oh.
challenge?
This
Talking.
is
What's the challenge? Talking about the past again?
yeah.
You know what, Teacher Arvin, if you have something personal or if you're going through something, we can talk about it later after the
Later.
webinar.
Exactly. Well,
Well,
this
I'm just
is
kidding.
this is called feel me. Feel me,
Oh.
okay? This is feel me. What you need to do is to compose a statement or a sentence by filling it with an if clause and the main clause. Are you guys
Hmm.
ready?
But what do we have to do?
All right. So again, what you need to do is to compare a statement or a sentence by filling it with an if clause and the main clause. So the first pair would be Arvin and Asha,
Oh.
and the second pair
Oh,
would
we're,
be
we're we're the first
Arvin
pair.
and Ali.
That is a good
Yes.
pair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to be the participant one, right?
Yes.
Well, we're actually a good pair. So so if I'm going to give you an if clause, it would be if we had become life partners.
I would have given you 10 children. Oh my
That's too much.
god. No, kidding aside. I would.
Well, I would take it seriously though.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's actually a nice sentence. It
Mhm.
shows that you really are a good pair. So let's go to the second pair, our second pair. It would be Arvin and Ali.
Wow, that's a motherly pair.
So I will start, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's for you. The viewers out there can totally relate. If I had finished my homework,
I would have been rewarded by my parents.
oh, good, good.
Wow, you guys did a good job in this challenge. Would you like to try another one?
Oh yeah, sure, sure.
Yes, without life partners, please.
And yeah, something easier than the first one,
Wow. Don't worry
or
because
something challenging, more challenging than the
challenging.
first
Wow.
one.
Okay. So I think you can do this. This challenge is called Would You Rather. And by the way, our viewers could also participate in this challenge. What you need to do is to utilize the third conditional in answering the situation. So I would be
Hmm.
flashing the situation for each and one of you, and then what you need to do is to answer it. Are you guys ready? Let us start
Excited.
with
Ready.
Asha.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for putting me first. Oh, would you rather have loved and lost or never loved at all? Timely. Yeah, to answer this one, I'd rather have loved and lost than the latter because harkening back the time or the past, if I had never loved, I wouldn't have been happy in the present.
Wow, that's a nice
Ah.
one. Okay, next is Ali.
Okay, this is the question for me. Would you rather be poor and work at a job you love or rich and work at a job you hate? So, if I had a chance to choose between working in a job that I love and working in a job that I hate, I would rather be poor and work in a job that I love because I believe in YOLO. You know the popular saying that you only live once? That is my
Mhm.
motto in
Ah,
life. Life is
YOLO.
short, you know,
YOLO.
and we should settle with the things that makes us happy and appreciate life even more. What's the use of money if you're sick, alone, or lonely? Once your life is finished, you can take it with you. But wonderful memories and happiness, that will surely remain.
Precisely.
Thank you.
Wow,
They
how
Thank you.
say
about
that
mhm,
old people are wise.
older people? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful
How,
people are wise as well.
how about Arvin?
Why do I feel like you guys are all prepared for this? Okay, so for the question for me, would you rather be able to speak English like a native English speaker or speak 12 other languages at the elementary level? So I would rather speak English rather than speak 12 other languages. Well, it might give you a diverse way to communicate with other people using the same languages, but I think being able to speak English is far way better than that. If I had learned English, I would have achieved a kind of interaction with all the races of people across the globe since it's a universal language.
Nice. I think you guys nailed this challenge, and I'm surprised and amazed by your answers.
That's actually the toughest question, the one that Arvin answered.
The
Wow.
third one, yeah, I would agree. But oh, I forgot.
Well, in general, this is
Mhm.
the toughest activity.
But if I had had this question, I would have chosen the same as yours.
Why?
Because, yeah, let's put our shoes to teenagers.
Hmm.
If you will be able to learn the language as early as now, then you will be prepared in your future, considering everything that's happening right now, the pandemic, and it has opened our country for globalization, having everything
Exactly.
delivered online with just one tap. It's going to be delivered with you.
Mm.
It's also going to open opportunities for you outside the country.
Yeah, and that's actually one way to make yourself globally competitive. Being able to speak the universal language will open door of opportunities
Yeah.
for you.
Many doors and opportunities, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, one quick reminder. So sometimes we use should have, could have, might
Mm.
have instead of would have. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
So, mhm,
so those are the other options.
yes,
Oh,
Uh,
other modals.
modal.
Okay.
Yes. How about you, viewers, or to those watching us today? What would be your answer? Would you rather learn 12 languages or just speak like a native? You can comment down your answer. Okay, to sum up the tricks, we have the first one is to make appealing statements. And the second one is to express opinions and or ideas through situational phrases. Do you guys have any other tricks, Ali?
Oh, yes, that's true. I will add one more trick to wrap it all up. You know what? Sometimes when we speak, we tend to be conscious with the way that we pronounce the words. We Filipinos are so particular with enunciation, pronunciation, and even stress. What I mean by that is the word stress. We become grammar Nazis or pronunciation Nazis, which is actually a good thing. So that leads me to the third trick that I'm about to give you, okay? So it means do not allow yourself to slack off while talking. Have you experienced stuttering or mispronouncing the words when speaking? That is normal, especially if you're not used to talking most of the time. It's like your mouth and tongue is not cooperating, and it's actually frustrating, especially if you know how to pronounce it well. There are a lot of strategies that we can do with this. And here's one strategy that I'm about to give you, okay? So you for this activity, you need to follow me. I want you to put your hands on your cheeks. Come on, guys. Feel it, touch it, okay? I know you have a soft skin. So this activity that we will be doing is called the mouth massage, okay? So what I want you to do, well, for our viewers, please follow what we are doing, okay? You need to rotate it clockwise and counterclockwise, okay? So you need to massage your cheeks clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, why are we doing this? We are doing this because most of the time our mouth muscles becomes slack, especially if we're not, talking all the time. So that's one thing that you can do, okay? Do this kind of exercise every day and surely you would be able to enhance your enunciation skills, okay? But that is only one trick that I can give you. The second one is actually more on pronunciation, okay? So this time we will enunciate. So I want you to follow the way that I pronounce the vowels. We will start with the vowels first, okay? So open your mouth because I cannot do that for you. I want you to repeat after me. Say ah,
Ah,
e,
Eh,
eh,
e,
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 o,
o,
u.
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 Okay, good job, guys. That is only the preparation. Now, the next one that we will be doing is the activity that all of us kids, adults love, but we tend not to do it because it's actually a little bit hard. Now, let me present you the tongue twisters. So, for this activity, we will be practicing the most common lapses when it comes to tongue twisters, okay? Flashing on the screen is the best example for the tongue twister. We will show you the TTH and also the BV tongue twister. Why? Because based on studies, we Filipinos have a problem with pronouncing these letters, TTH and B and V. So what's going to happen? I will call Arvin to first practice with the TTH sound.
Yes. So I am a Filipino, by the way. So forgive me in advance. No, I'm just kidding. So what will I do? Just read.
Yes,
Uh,
you need to read it the fastest that you can do, okay?
Oh, the 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
Faster?
Hey, the 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
Okay, good job. Anyone can beat that. Asha, Irene?
Irene!
Okay,
Okay.
I wanna try. So,
Throughout.
the 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
That's great.
That's great.
How
Because
about
Yeah.
you,
you, Arvin,
Thank
Asha?
was
you.
drooling earlier. No,
Yeah.
I just, all I have to do is to cheer them out. You guys did great.
The 33 thieves. Can I have the fifth try, please? No.
Ah, sure, go ahead.
No, 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 no. I'm just kidding. That's actually my Waterloo. I mean,
And
those. those sounds.
And all of us, actually. Yes, well, for our viewers, feel free to practice this tongue twister. So let's proceed to the second tongue twister, B and V. This time, I want to call Asha. I want you to try this one.
Yes. You're gonna do it alone, of course.
I'm gonna drool for sure. All right, let's have it. Vivacious Vivian love the voice. Vigorous versus vociferously. All right. Vivacious Vivian love the voice. Vigorous versus vociferously.
All right, so we're done.
Wow.
Good,
We're
good.
done.
Anyone to
Is it-
challenge Asha?
Yeah, because I suppose I
Mhm.
mispronounced vociferously with bo.
Yeah, I think Irene can do that. Can
Okay.
beat her.
Let me try.
Literally. Beat literally.
Okay. Vivacious Vivian loved to voice vigorous versus vociferously.
So we have the
Wow.
Oh
winner.
no.
Good
We have the winner.
job.
Good
Nice,
job.
nice.
And here's your medal.
Thank
Good.
you.
Wow. That's amazing. And
Yeah.
if you notice, we're not perfect. Even native speakers actually mispronounce some words, but the trick is to practice all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spontaneity.
All right. So for the next activity, don't worry, we're not yet done. Okay?
Well, what about you, Ali? Can you do the same tongue twisters for us?
Okay. So, yes, let me try, but let me read it slowly at first so that our listeners would know how to correctly pronounce each word. Okay? So, listen carefully. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. Now, I'm going to try the faster version. Oh my God, wish me luck. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. So
Wow.
for you to practice it, guys, and for the listeners out there, what I suggest is to practice it 3 times. Okay, do not hesitate because everyone commits mistake. So
Mm,
practice reading it slowly at first, and the next time that you've read it, make it three. Okay, so that you would be able to get the gist, and that's why it's called tongue twister. Okay,
mm,
it's destined to make our tongue twist for us to be able to enunciate well and pronounce the words correctly. So do not be scared, okay? Now, what I will be doing is to try the second tongue twister. Vivacious Vivian loved to voice vigorous versus vociferously. Again, the challenge this time is to read it 3 times. Vivacious Vivian loved to voice vigorous versus vociferously. So go ahead, guys. I want you to try it. Okay, so for the tongue twister that we did, good job because you're brave enough to face your fear of pronouncing the words correctly. And you're not alone. I know that those people out there watching us somehow hesitate when it comes to pronunciation. But then again, nobody can do that for you, okay? You need to face your
um,
fear and just do it. Now, this is my favorite part. I will let you experience a one of a kind activity, which is a collaborative task. Okay? So, I will be
mm,
flashing a diagram here on the screen. So, I want you to pay attention. So, what's going to happen? You are going to talk about a certain situation within yourself. Okay? So, that means you, Irene, Asha, and Arvin. Okay? So,
mhm,
what's going to happen? You are going to answer this question. Why do people find these issues worrying? We have world economy, global warming, crime, international relations, and overpopulation. Okay, so I'm going to give you some minutes to talk about it, and later on, I want you to agree to disagree and decide which is the top 3 issues
mm,
that these people find worrying. Okay,
mm.
so once I give you the cue, you're on your own. So, how do you
All
feel, guys, with this activity? Isn't it exciting?
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exciting.
It's challenging.
It is.
All
Okay,
right,
Yeah.
let's have this one. Since we're just three, so I suggest we eliminate two first. How about you guys? What do you think are the things that we should eliminate in here?
Only one or two?
Uh, two?
Two.
So,
Well, I go with overpopulation and global warming.
Mm.
yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, so yeah. Let's have it. Okay,
Yeah.
so why do people find these issues worrying? Well, let me have the world economy.
Mhm.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Are you familiar with the stagflation?
Not
We heard it
really.
already. Uh-huh. But
Okay, so a student introduced stagflation to me when we were having classes online. So,
mm,
according to him and online as well, it's a combination of high unemployment rate and stagnant demand in the country's economy. Does it ring a bell, the stagflation?
mm, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, because actually I can relate it to the aftermath of coronavirus for the economy because the coronavirus crisis has created a perfect storm. In addition to the health consequences and human costs, it is leading to a severe economic crisis because preventing people from going to work actually caused them to be ill and disrupted the supply chains. It is also a huge shock to productivity because
Mhm,
coronavirus has paralyzed most of the advanced and progressive countries. If you will notice, because let's consider Philippines and China.
mhm,
Yeah, very timely. If a poor country or a low performing country will experience such pandemic, the effect is it's going to ask for help to most of the advanced and progressive countries, which had a huge impact in the world economy, causing one country to be buried in debt to a richer one. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. With all, just like for example, here in the Philippines, with all the establishments and stores closed, well,
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually creates an impact on the economy, on the Philippine economy. So yeah,
Yeah,
that also has
even.
something to do with your points earlier.
And with the world economy, when world economy or our economy suffers, there is an increase with regards to the crime rate. So,
Why?
Mm.
well, I find crime worrying because for me, crime has been out of concern for many years. In fact, this does not only make people worry but fearful. Crime is a serious social problem, especially nowadays. As we hear or as we can see, many are killed, abused, or suffering from injustice. Crime makes people fear or become afraid
Mhm.
of being a victim, or let's say the risk of criminal victimization. Crime affects the happiness of so many people, and it's never easy to come under pressure in all areas of life. Imagine being afraid to walk down the street, which I
Mhm.
think is obviously because of paranoia, anxiety, and other
Mhm.
psychological issues. Crime impinges on
Yeah.
the quality of life, right? Its
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
damages or the damages are tremendously affecting the well-being of a person, and also it can alter the routine and habits.
Mhm. Yes, well, in relation to what you have mentioned on world economy and crime, Irene and Asha, I think international relations is also one of the worrying issues that we face today. Considering the US China trade war and other wars existing between countries,
Mm-hmm.
creating a wall that divides the whole world. I think international relations must be put in the spotlight as well. And that is something that we have to strengthen so all the nations will be united and peace and war will never be an issue again.
This activity is like having a social studies class.
Mm-mm.
Mm,
But yeah, it's really timely with the coronavirus and the crime rates
mm.
here in the Philippines, considering the relationship of the Philippines to China and the world economy, especially.
Yeah, well, if you're going to connect all those three that we discussed earlier, those are, what really, those are the things that are really happening at the moment, across the globe. So we
Mm-hmm.
cannot deny the fact that we are, struggling when it comes to our world economy, when it comes to, crime and international relations.
Hi, Ali. So now we have come up to world economy because, like what Irene and Arvin has mentioned earlier, It's like world economy is the root cause of the crime rates, high crime rates, and international relations. Because if you have a low economy, then the crime rate will increase. And if the crime rate will increase, then it's going to hinder tourists to go here in our country or to go in a specific country. And also, if the crime rate is high, and if tourists from a certain country is not going in here, then it's going to cause chaos from our country to that country.
Wow, that's a great way to wrap up the activity. Good job, guys. Now, let me give you the feedback. So, I want to commend the three of you because you gave me 2 points for the viewers to remember. Okay, the first thing that I like about the presentation earlier is the use of vocabulary. Earlier, what I remember is Asha mentioned the word stagflation. Am I right with that?
Mhm.
Stagflation. Okay, that's the unemployment rate combined with the stagnant demand of economy. The second one that I will be mentioning is the relevance. I love the way that you've mentioned the coronavirus and situate it with the activity that I have given you. And that's the thing that I want our viewers to remember, okay? Whenever you're delivering a speech, you need to, just be yourself, enjoy what you're doing, and as much as possible, try to read a lot because reading a lot will gain the knowledge that you have in order for you to become a good speaker because of the thoughts that you'll be delivering. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that we can start doing today. Okay? So, those are the three tricks that we have given you. We hope that you find it useful. And for the recap, let us flash the screen. The first trick is to make your speech appealing through effective and descriptive words. The second one is to express opinions and ideas through situational phrases. And of course, the last one is do not allow yourself to slack off while talking. So there
Mhm.
you go. We hope that we've given you all the tricks that you need to do to improve your speaking skills.
There you have it. So, for today's webinar, we have given you three aspects that you must take note of in order to improve your speaking skills in public. And for those who are watching us right now, I challenge you to do this task. Wait for a moment. What you have to do is to look for something in your house and video yourself advertising it for a minute. The challenge is for you to apply the tricks and vocabulary words that you have learned today. You can post your video on our Facebook page, flashed here on our screen, in order for us to assess your skills real time.